I'm away from home again. I'm very tired, but I got a few hours before I have to go to work this morning. So today, I thought we would talk about something people ask me questions about sometimes when I'm gaming, because she's always there, but I never really talk about her. You never really say her. So let's talk about Iris. Come here, Iris, not you. Yeah. Let's talk about the cow dog, as she has been so lovingly named on Twitch. Let's talk about the cow dog. I love you. Do you want to come up here? Oh, thank you. Oh, I know. Okay. And just so people know, this boy might show up. This pretty boy might show up. He's who I'm dog sitting right now. Good boy, Joey. Good boy, Joey. Oh, jealous. Oh, jealous. Okay, come here. Want to come up? Want to come up and lay down? Want to go lay down so I can actually talk? Yeah. Okay, you can lay down. You can lay down. Yeah, I know. Good boy. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go on. Go lay down. Go lay down. But I don't want it. Dang. So Iris has been with me for about 11 years. She just turned 11. We have the same birthday. Oh, heavy panting. I need to stay hydrated. I got her when I was living in Nebraska for about 10 months. Was it 10 months? No, it was less than. It was shy of like a year, I think. Was it 9 months? I don't know. It was shy of some time. It was less than a year. Now she's part of another bigger story, which I'm not going to talk about today. But I had a roommate who became a stalker. But in the time that we were friends, just friends, there's a rule in our house where we were living is we don't have one pet. I already had a cat, so I couldn't get anything else. He always wanted a dog because he never had one, so I was like, cool, I'll help you find a dog. Well, I got her. I got her for him. Helped him find her anyway. And we drove 2 hours to a gas station, gave someone 80 bucks. They handed me a puppy. And we went back. That's how we got her. But but even though she wasn't for me originally, I'm gonna say I want to talk like she was, because it's easier than trying to do the, pronouns here back and forth. So that's how I got her. At the time that I got her, there was a known flipper going around on Craigslist in Nebraska, because I got her off Craigslist, just FYI. And people were getting sick puppies, clearly abused puppies, blah, 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 blah. So a flipper, for people who don't know, it's kind of like a house. So you get a house, you fix it up, and you sell it. The difference is you steal them or get them for free. You don't take care of them and or abuse them, and then you get someone to pay for them to take them away from you. So not good. So when I got her, there were some signs that she probably was hit a few times. So if you go to like pet her, and I'll put up a photo of her as a puppy, but when you go to pet her, like if you had your hand up, she would bury her head in fear. So that was not a good sign. Yes. She was more scared of men, especially big men. When I did some more research on the flipper, I found, the car matched, the location we had to meet them matched, the big guy in the driving, who was driving, who doesn't get out of the car matched. I actually messaged someone who was talking about the dog she got, and we kind of compared information. When I got her, they said they had 2 blue heeler puppies. And there's something off when they're only asking for 80 bucks for a blue heeler. Now here's the thing, they said that in the ad she was mixed. Hint, hint, she's not. So I don't call them, but I text them and say, hey, and we had just met like the day or so before. I said, hey, I forgot to ask, what is she mixed with? When was her first shot? Because they said she had one of her shots already. And when is her birthday? They messaged back, we don't remember which one we gave you. Could you send a photo? Yeah, so who's got a bunch of puppies that aren't the same breed? Because even breeders usually don't do that, like legit breeders. So I send a picture and they just go, oh, Border Collie. And I'm like, no, I work with Border Collies, and I actually have people who have family who raise cattle dogs, And they go, no, that's a cattle dog. That is just a cattle dog. And having met many more cattle dogs since then, yeah, she's just cattle dog. She has no, and I've looked at like pictures of like them mixed. She doesn't match. She is a cattle dog, which yay for me. So, I mean, the bad news is that means they stole a purebred from someone and sold her for $80. So I got like, you know, a $500,000 dog, depending on, you know, breed line. She's even got a Bentley strip, which is there's no proof on it. Oh, yes, I'm touching you. There's no proof, but they say the Bentley strip, that white strip down a cattle dog's head, is the original dog who was bred in show for making the breed. His name was Bentley. He had that white strip. So there's a saying that if you have the white strip, your dog is related to the Bentley line. So I have that. And now some people might ask, well, have you done a DNA test to prove it? The DNA tests, unless you get one that's going to be expensive and it's going to be like detailed, the ones you buy online, they even say usually in the copyright, this is just for fun. You can't trust the things. Because I've seen people who get them for their purebred just to verify, and they say, oh, they're mixed with this. Because every dog is mixed with something. You don't make a cattle dog with just cattle dog. A cattle dog was made with dingo and the Blue Merle Collie. So you're going to get those probably in her genetic testing, which, again, would make her not look. So I don't trust the genetic testing on dogs. I've seen them be wrong way too many times. But going off actual breeders who I know and people who have family members who breed them, she's a cattle dog. A very sweet cattle dog. Clearly. We call this pacifiering when sometimes she'll do that for 5 minutes. We call that pacifiering. My hand, oh, sorry, I just poked you in the eye. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so they don't give me the information I want because they don't have it. They don't give me her birth date. They don't give me her shot record. They basically just, they didn't even know who. Come back here. You're supposed to be in this video. Come back here. Come back here. You have to be in this video. This is how this works, lady. You have to be in the video that is about you. I love you. Oh, okay. Oh, yuck. Oh, thank you. Oh, all right. Paw on the shoulder. Paw on your shoulder. As you can tell, she loves me. Fun thing about healers is that they bond to one person in the family. And so what happened and why she ended up with me and not the roommate, she bonded to me because, no, come back here. Come back here. Stay here. Stay with mom. Lay down. Stay with mom. Lay down. I mean, you can leave, but I'd like you to stay in the video, boo-boo. Lay down. Lay down. Oh. Can you lay down? Oh, I'm going to do it over here. It's nice over there. She likes over there. Okay, so what we're going to do then, we're just going to turn this, and I'm going to move. I'll be the, there you go, you precious baby. Wait, you're so much. Excuse me, Joey. I'm just going to sit on you, I think. Okay, there's a dog. There's a dog under me. So, if the voice sucks, it's recording on my phone. I don't have a mic today. Right? Okay. You don't mind that my legs are over you, do you, Joey? No? Cool. He's just like, just touch me. So, as things with the roommate went bad, he made a comment, because we were teaching her how to walk on a leash. Now, she's a very smart dog, and I knew she was smart the day we got her, because when we got home, I put her in the hallway between some baby gates, put some food, some water, and I was paint, puppy pads, and I was like, we're gonna go get you some more stuff. So we go to the store, come back, and she's out of the area in the main house, and she hasn't done anything bad or anything. But the gates are up, and the other roommate I was like, did you take her out? He's like, no, I haven't left my room. So I'm like, how did she get out? The gates are up, and so I put her back in, and she's. Mind you, when I got her, they said she was like 10 weeks old. She was not. She was about 14 by how big she was. You were kind of big. But she is on the standard large size of her breed. So, but I put her back in, and I'm like, come to mommy, and she's like crying and like putting her paws up on the gates, and she can't do anything. She's not able to jump it. She's too small. And then I see her foot hit the water bowl, which is a really hefty, like, square water bowl with edges, and she stops, she thinks, and then she puts her back feet up on it to give her leverage, and she jumps over the gate. And I'm like, ooh, she's smart, gotta start training now. So we did. We started training early. The memories of throwing like cheese in her face to try to teach her to catch. She enjoyed it because she got a lot of food. She got cheese and cereal pieces to learn to like catch things out of the air. But yeah, as things were going bad with the roommate who she was originally for, we were teaching her to walk. And things had already been bad off and on. And he said to me, well, if she doesn't walk, I'm just going to drag her. And that was my, well, you can't have her now. Because if that's what you think you can do with a dog, especially a puppy, no. We're not doing it. So basically after another big fight, when people are obsessed with you, they get mad for little things. And he had a jealousy thing going on, and I ended up going straight down to the place where you license them, and I licensed her under my name. So she was legally mine. And funny enough, though, later that night, he comes up and goes like, you know what, you can just have her. I don't want her. And I said, okay, cool, because I shouldn't have said this, but I already licensed her in my name. A lot of shit happened after that, but I'm not going to go into that. Ended up in the hospital. It was not fun. But so she was mine. The other roommate, ended up getting kicked out in the long run, but the landlord, who was also a roommate, was also crazy. So I ended up going back home with her. Later on, got my cat to come too, because my mom would only let me bring one at the time. My parents fell in love with both of them, and they're like, because originally they were going to come with me and I would give them up later, because I didn't trust them with the roommate or their landlord. So I got them both back to Washington, and they fell in love with the cat because my cat, she's dead now, unfortunately. Coyote got her when she was like 5 years old. They loved her because unlike our other two cats who were like, kind of cat meows and like very kind of meanish, she came in like mew and mew, and she's like, love me, and she was so sweet. She was a Link Siamese mix, and she played with Iris. They loved each other, and because she was so sweet and sounded like really cute, they fell in love with her and they didn't want to get rid of her. And then Iris, the bitch, as she was, I had taught her how to put her toys in the basket. And so my mom, seeing her put her toys in the basket, it was like, she's so smart, and fell in love with her because of how smart she was. And my dog, knowing she never was going to have to be risked of getting out, being like thrown out, she never put her toys away again. That was the end of that chapter. She refuses. She will not do it. I cannot train it back into her. She just says no. You're stubborn. Mwah. You're stubborn. But my parents absolutely love her. They're always like, we'll take, if anything ever happens, we'll take her. I had people who aren't even related to me go like, if you can't keep her for some reason, I'll take her. I'm like, I am not giving you my dog. Like, I love my dog. And you. So, okay, demanding. So later on, well, actually, before I even moved back, she was doing something kind of interesting. So I have PTSD, again, another big story of my past. And when I have night terrors as a puppy, it took me, I didn't notice at first, but when I'd have one, she would wake up and flop down really hard next to me, which would wake me up, or she'd actually put her head on me when I'm sleeping to wake me up. Thing is, we don't touch. We don't like to touch in our sleep. Like, if I move wrong and touch her, she gets up and leaves the bed. If a dog leans on me, who I'm like, when I'm sitting them and I'm sleeping, I push them away from me because I can't be touched in my sleep. Later on, she started doing it more when I was back in my actual home state. Yeah. Yeah. And I realized she was sensing the night terror and waking me up. Because of that, we were like, okay, maybe I can train her as a service dog because she is very smart. So I looked up all the regulations, and I've worked with dogs for almost 10 years now. So I know how to train them. I know how to, hang out with them. Because who doesn't know how to hang out with a dog? But I know how to train them. I know how to work with them. And so I put her through the training. I did it myself. I followed all regulations. Made sure she could perform her tasks. She knew how to. I don't make her do it anymore because she has bad legs. She tore both knees. But she used to know how to turn on and off a light switch. She can do pressure hugs. She can do. She wakes you up from night terrors. That was her main task. Well, later on, it was discovered that she could also sense when my autoimmune system was about to attack. Because that's another story we're going to talk about. Well, we kind of went over it already, I think. My autoimmune system, we already went in that last video, my autoimmune system, that took 10 years to like diagnose that I have an autoimmune disease. And she would lean up against me. Well, how she does it now is that when she feels it coming, now my medication will stop it now, but it does still trigger, and she will come over and she like leans into me and she doesn't move. She doesn't make any like motion. She's just still. Okay, you can go. She's just very still. And, which is fine. She's very still, and I'm sorry, something popped up on my screen, so I'm like, so let's try that again. So when I have an autoimmune attack, though now it doesn't happen when it's triggering, when it actually triggers because of my medication, what she does to warn me is she comes over and she leans on me, and she kind of like blocks me in where I am because she doesn't want me moving, because I will start vomiting for a long time, sometimes up to 12 hours or until I pass out or can knock myself out with medication. So one time, I was coming back from Reno after a road trip. I was in Oregon, and I was close to home, but like still a few hours. And I start feeling odd. And so we pull over, and I am on the phone with my now ex, and I'm saying, hey, I don't feel good. I get tired suddenly. I'm not feeling good. I'm going to eat something, let her go to the bathroom, blah, blah. So I eat part of a granola bar. I get out of the car and I let her out on the side of the road where there's some grass, and she's peeing. And I sit down, and I'm just kind of taking a minute to like breathe. And then I'm like, you ready to go? And she comes over and she sits on me. And she's never sat on me. In the many years I had had her up to that point, she's never just come over and sat on my lap. And she wouldn't move. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm thinking it's sweet, but what are you doing? And then in like just seconds, I'm vomiting. I am vomiting, I am vomiting, I am vomiting. And I can't stop. I ended up having to wait for like a slight break in the attack to go to a hotel just down the road. And I was vomiting and dry heaving into the morning because I couldn't sleep. And I ended up in the hospital the next morning. So basically, she was like, no, you're triggering, don't get back in that car. So I didn't get back in that car. So for the last good few years of her life, she has been a service dog for my PTSD and for my autoimmune disease. So thankfully, one is under control with the medication. I do have small triggers still, but those are like induced by like super bad stress or my body rejecting food because it says, oh, today you can't have this, and there's no reason for it. It's just my body thinks random shit is foreign. And then my PTSD, thankfully, with less hectic life, less triggers in the night. So for the most part, she's just an at-home service dog for when she's needed. But she is getting old. And so, you know, and then with COVID and not going out for a long time, things have kind of eased. And so she is probably close to retirement soon. Yeah, even though you probably got like another 7 years to live. Isn't that right? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so she managed to match all the qualifications. She performed physical tasks, which is required. She did all the training, and it was great. She's actually been on flights with me. I'll show you some photos of those two. She was not a fan of that because we were never planning to go flying, but my ex wanted to go to Ohio, and we had to train her to all the sounds and get her comfortable, because even a trained dog can get startled, can, you know, be like, I'm unsure. So we went to the airport every weekend for like a couple months up to it, and we just walked her around, got her used to the sounds, and it was fine. She learned that if she heard like a suitcase getting closer, she had to come behind me and like walk, you know, right behind me so she didn't get hit. Did fine. The one funny thing though is when we were in the flight, she usually just lay down through the whole thing, and once in a while I'd want to stretch her legs. But there was one moment I found that someone asked me, does she know the position for takeoff? And I'm like, you mean laying down? Yeah, I think she can do that. I said, she also knows the position for crashing, because whenever the plane starts descending, she stands up, leans down, and puts her head under the seat in front of us. And I'm like, babe, no, we're not crashing. It might feel like we're crashing, but we're not crashing. So it was like, okay, you weren't really trained for this specific scenario. But she was otherwise, you know, besides being unsure about like the pressure changes as we descended, she was quiet, you know, she didn't bark, she didn't do anything. There were so many dogs, you know, with service dogs, I guess you could say, throughout the airport. So we had to go through, and they'd bark at her, they'd lunge at her, they'd whine at her, and she'd just ignore and keep walking. Like, you know, I tell people, even like the best trained service dogs, and I have met like full, like really intense service dogs who have gone through intense training, they can fuck up too. Not huge. Usually it's not a huge fuck up, but the one thing to remember about service dogs, and I find it really funny when I watch like service dog videos, people are like, oh, it didn't listen the first time. Like, that dog is focusing, you know, and it might not hear it. Also, I don't speak super loud to her sometimes because I don't want people hearing me giving her my commands. And a lot of our commands are like, or, you know, she knows a lot of sound commands. She is trained on sound commands. Aren't you? Yeah. And so a lot of times people don't hear me giving the command, but sometimes I don't want people to think that I'm yelling at her over like the car traffic or the noises. You shy now? You shy now? Oh. So I'll keep my voice down, but she's getting older. Her hearing's gonna, you know, might be going now. So sometimes it takes me to actually get her attention by like snapping quickly and like getting her to go, and you know, sit in command is just me doing this. And she'll do it, but she also has bad knees. So people might see her struggling to sit or like about to and then going, I can't right now. And I'll give her a minute and I'll make her do it again. And it's not because she isn't listening per se, it's because she either can't hear me because, you know, there's too much noise around us and I'm not speaking like I usually, because people see me on like stream, they make fun of the fact that I'll mumble to myself, and sometimes I mumble commands to her and I shouldn't do that. But it's that, or her knees hurt. And I have to understand that she's got injured legs. So if she's struggling to sit, especially like on a smooth floor, that's not her not listening, it's her going, Mom, this is gonna be hard for me right now, and can I not? And if I think, yeah, better not, if I think you need to, she'll do it, you know. But people will often be like, oh, that dog didn't, in a split second, it's a dog. It is still an animal. It will still make mistakes. One famous comedian told a story about his service dog just decided one day, fuck it, and jumped into a lake to chase a goose. And it was like, okay. And you know, and it is embarrassing as service dog owners when your service dog makes a mistake. Because you think everybody's judging you for it, and usually the mistakes are so small that no one notices because they're otherwise looking at how well, oh, I'm hungry, how well behaved she is, how great she is, and everybody just loves her. Because I will literally like take but yeah. So yeah, that's a bit about Iris. My sweet girl. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. Oh, you're a good boy too, Joey. He's down here looking at me like stretching, like pet me. I'm cute. Yeah, she's also helped me work with dogs for many, many years. So she's actually really good with other dogs, but she is getting old. So she's getting a little less tolerant of the BS from the younger dogs. Doesn't do anything. Like she might scare them into being like, stop it, I don't like this, don't hit me in the face. But when she's actually on lead with me, she'll just look up and like ignore them. But all bets are off once the lead comes off, and not in a bad way, like because she had to work with dogs and help dogs learn like behavior in the past with me. But like when puppies are in her face, she'll throw them down, and she'll be like, make them think she's dangerous when she's not actually going to do anything. But she wants them to realize, hey, you've gone too far, and now I'm showing you what can happen when you go too far. It's very fun to see a dog who has a controlled bite, is what it's called, basically know how to use it to teach other dogs boundaries. Because she's really good with other dogs. She's like, she hangs out with them, she's, you know, sniffs them, she eats with them, she doesn't have any food aggression. But when puppies and hyper dogs are up in her face, she will be the most patient girl in the world. She'll be like, my brain was like, do you want to start over? Do you want to start this whole story over? And I kind of do. But no, I'll edit it as we go along. don't know the dog. I don't know the dog that might bite or like roar. And I might cut all this out of the video. I don't know why I'm discussing it, but because I know there's going to be some judgmental people here who don't understand dogs and have never worked with dogs and think like, oh, your dog's aggressive. No, my dog's not aggressive because she's hanging out with dogs all the time and she has no problem with them. Like, but I know the dog community is incredibly crazy, incredibly nuts. And I have to take everything they say with, or just delete their comments because, no, a trained dog knows how to out another dog that's in its personal space that it doesn't like without hurting the other dog. It'll scare the other dog because that's the point of it. It's saying, look, a dog, you know, that's not exactly what they're saying, but they're basically teaching the dog, hey, a dog who doesn't like this, you need to read the signs that come up before this, because she gives all the signs, and if they ignore the signs, then it escalates. And it's like, you need to see these signs that I'm giving so we don't get to the escalation point. And dogs do learn from other dogs. It's kind of just how it works. You know, dogs will like grab their puppies and stuff when they're being too much and be like, no, we're not doing this, because they can teach that way. It's just how it works. But yeah, I've had her 11 years, like I said. Love her dearly. She's getting old. Do you love it? What was your little tail over there? She clearly loves me. And yeah, so today we're just doing apparently a 40-minute talk of mostly rambling about her. So I'll probably cut some of this out because I don't think we need everything I've said. But it's been cute, so I don't want to like just start over again. But yeah, so this is Iris, the 11-year-old Australian cattle dog who I got from a flipper who lied about everything about her, including that she was a mix when she's not. She was older than they said she was. They clearly hit her a couple times. She became a service dog because she was naturally able to pick up on my night terrors and my autoimmune disease. And many years later, she's still here. And I love her. Thank you. So yeah, that's the story of Cow Dog, how I got her, how she became a service dog, how she's getting older and needs to retire soon, or at least retire to an indoor service dog only. I don't really take, just FYI, I don't really take her to stores ever because I am terrified of being confronted because I don't look disabled. And I don't really, because of the medication now, I don't really need it outside the house. But there are days where I don't feel good. I'll bring her along, just in case I do trigger or something happens. Because there are times my medication does starts failing. If I'm like taking other medication I need to take with it or something, and they're counteracting each other when they shouldn't be. But yeah, I don't, because I had one woman glare at me once when it's burned in my head, and I don't want to do it. So I usually will never take her to a store unless someone's with me and we're doing like training just to keep her up to date on her training. But yeah, so I don't really take her to the store. She really is at this point an in-home service dog only because she is old and she is harder with the legs and all the other things. So I'm just like, cool, we'll keep you at home mostly. Yeah. I feel like I should go backwards and like take out some stuff and like, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this looks as I play it back to myself. Okay. I'm gonna do some editing and then I'm probably gonna go to work. You wanna go to work? You wanna go to work today? You wanna go with Mom? Okay. Because I know she'd like to see ya.